A good conversation can take your team a long way. In fact, for jewelers who aren't taking their teams through a regular system of training, I recommend regular weekly conversations. I think many people don't jump on the training train because, they just don't have the time. They don't have the expertise or the willingness to gather their team around for another meeting. So I just recommend you just get together and have a conversation. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to plan out this big agenda for this groundbreaking outpouring of knowledge. All you need to do is start a conversation. Now, I recommend you have four actual conversations. Start by talking about your products, features and benefits, special order abilities, and so on. So have a conversation about your products. Maybe it's new products that are coming in. Maybe it's some products that you need to get out of here that have been around too long. But have a product conversation. And you don't have to do this all in one meeting. These can be different meetings if you want. And then there's maybe there are some neat stories about sales. So then have a sales conversation. Some neat things that have maybe happened during the last week. Hey, let's just talk about who came in, why they came in, and how the sale happened, and how we followed through on that. That's a great conversation, and we're all learning and growing through all of these, okay? Next, have a conversation about operations, okay? How do we operate? How do we have some new jewelry tags. Maybe it's our new repair take-in process. And oh, by the way, on repair take-ins, be sure you are doing a quick plot of the customer's diamond. I don't care if you're making a note, sketching it, or make the plot in the picture itself that you've taken through your software. But it's got to be done until we invent a plot camera system, which will be really cool. We need to be doing diamond plots on those repair envelopes. Listen, with lab grown, with moissanite, with a lot of things that are going on in the business right now, and people selling them online, it's very, very important that we let customers know that we know what their diamond is and what are the characteristics of that diamond. It's a little bit of a CYA thing when we handed the repair back to them, of course. So anyway, sorry, that was just a side note. But then finally have a customer service talk. Okay, back to conversations. Have a talk about customer service. How are we greeting our customers? How are we speaking to them on the phone? How are we walking them to the door? Whatever our standards are, maybe that's our non-negotiable standards of how we treat customers. Maybe it's our up system, things like that. But have a conversation about customer service. Are we dropping the ball on greeting people, etc.? So all we really need to do is lead the discussion if we're managers or owners. We need to lead the discussion and make sure it stays in a positive line of thinking and speaking. You don't have to spend a ton of time preparing or even trying to be the expert. In fact, if you're having good open discussions with your team, you build teamwork and you build buy-in. And this leads to a more autonomous organization of people doing the right things because, well, they essentially designed it. So now, larger organizations, of course, have a more rigorous process, and rightly so. A larger store needs to get, there needs to be more regulation. There needs to be more duplication and more scalability, right? We get that. We understand that. But if you're a smaller store with only just a few employees, don't not have meetings. Don't not have trainings. But regular conversations, regular discussions with your team. And finally, communication is incredible for a business. If people know that they can count on a regular meeting or discussion, they know they're valuable to the organization. And you'll be surprised how people can really step up their game once they know they have a voice, an opinion that matters in the company. So if you're not having weekly training sessions now, Just start with a weekly conversation and watch how your store grows.